Alrighty, guys, how's it going? My name is Cheyenne Maher, and this is my presentation for Gaming 225. I'm the most iconic gaming stars the world has ever seen: Stanley Ho, SJM, and Cotai. Here we go. My purpose statement. Today's presentation is to honor the late, great Stanley Ho. May his soul rest in peace. His contributions to the magnificent city of Macau and the empire that is now left to the Ho family. So we're going to be getting into Stanley Ho, some of his background and his history. We're going to be talking about SJM, the foundation of it, what it is. We'll be talking about Cotai. It didn't used to be there. It's a huge project and what it entails. We're getting into all that good stuff within this presentation. I'm really excited, as you can tell. So just wanted to show you guys a little backstory on Macau, give you guys some history on it a little bit. There's a picture of it in the 1960s, kind of like a little shanty town. Not a safe place to be. A lot of mugging, thieves, and whatnot. Chicken fights, betting. Just really ugly town. But then now in 2020, huge boost in infrastructure. It is one of the world's leading hubs in revenue for gambling, producing millions upon millions of dollars in revenue, beating Las Vegas. It has made a new name for itself. A lot of cool stuff happening in Macau today. Definitely a sight to see. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but in that picture that's to the right there, you can see the Casino Lisboa, which is actually one of the flagship properties that we're going to be talking about soon. But first, let's talk about Stanley Ho really quick. Born November 25th, 1921, into a wealthy family in British Hong Kong. Youngest of 8 siblings, very, very bright mind, top of his class. He was able to get awarded a full scholarship to the University of Hong Kong. Wasn't able to finish his degree though. During that time period, World War II was happening. I'm not sure if y'all have seen that movie Midway, but if not, definitely catch it. Great movie. That will give you a kind of like a little good look as to what it was like when the Japanese were just invading China. Very ugly stuff, but good movie to see, to get educated on that kind of stuff. Very dangerous times, but his family, they needed to flee, and they were actually able to flee for safety. Rough upbringing for him, but that built his character. He began working for an import-export company, quickly became a partner of that said company. Since he's such a bright mind, he was able to kind of just make something out of nothing every time and kept trying to expand himself and network himself into more things. He earned his first fortune smuggling goods into China's mainland during war times. Using those profits, he started his own kerosene company. He has his own construction company. He's finally able to really establish himself as a legitimate businessman, entrepreneur, and kind of just keep track of all the different kinds of companies that he already has so far, because you're going to see that within Macau, from transportation to sanitation to everything, he has a hand in it in some form or way. So quickly, when he had his first fortune, his first couple companies, became a legitimate businessman, went into partnership with some other businessmen. They went on a bid for a gambling license. They were awarded the first gaming license in Macau in 1982. They were able to successfully run a monopoly for 30 years, being the only ones with the gaming license. And that right there, that's a major turning point for Stanley Ho, because he was really able to make so much revenue there that he was able to expand to 19 different casinos and really establish himself within the city. And as he was making all the wealth, he was definitely putting it back into the city as well, constantly making the infrastructure better, building better roads, building better things for the people to actually enjoy and tourists to actually start coming back and enjoying themselves there. His flagship property was the Lisboa, the Grand Lisboa, and then now the newest Grand Lisboa Palace is being opened up. This property is being opened up on the Cotai Strip, estimated $4 billion. You guys know how much Resorts World was. It was like a $3 billion project. This is like a $4 billion project. Very beautiful, great architecture. Definitely got to go visit. Let's talk about Cotai a little bit. Here's a little more up-close picture of the Casino Lisboa. I'm not really sure if you guys are able to tell, but there's also the Grand Lisboa. It looks like a lotus flower, really cool stuff. But Cotai is the result of a massive land reclamation project connected the two islands together. And I'm not really sure if you guys are familiar with what a land reclamation project is, but that's pretty much taking a bunch of reclaimed land, gravel, dirt, and just dumping it into the ocean until they were actually able to form a sturdy foundation to build casinos and resorts on. Just take a moment just to imagine that. And since the completion of the Cotai Strip, many of the high rollers have gravitated towards Cotai. And that's what made them so successful, because these high rollers aren't like normal gamblers. They'll go on binges for 24, 48 hours, and there's nothing else to do in Macau, except gamble. So they'll just keep on gambling. The Cotai Strip got a new name for itself, New Las Vegas. Really cool things are happening there. The Ho Empire, the 3 keys to the industry in Macau, to the gaming industry in Macau. Just a little backstory. Stanley Ho has 4 wives, by the way, and he has kids with each of those wives. Just some 17 children. Before his death, he had a major fall. It caused him to be hospitalized for quite some time. And at that point, and this is very surprising to hear, but he had no last will and testimony. So it was kind of ugly for a second. The different families and the different children having to engage in court battles over his assets. Let's talk about 2 of the main children, Pansy and Lawrence. Pansy Ho is his daughter. She's actually taken over as CEO for SJM in the passing of Stanley Ho. She also runs the transportation company known as Shuntak. Little backstory on that. There's one main way to get to Macau. Since it's an island, they use ferries, and Shuntak is the company that runs all the ferries. So that's the main transportation system, the way in and way out, ran by the Ho family. She's also, prior to taking over as SJM CEO, she's an amazing businesswoman. She was a major role in the opening of the MGM Cotai. She's a 50% partner of MGM China Holdings. Also, Lawrence Ho, son, owner of Melco Resorts, responsible for opening up the City of Dreams, estimated $1.4 billion integrated resort in Cotai. Very cool stuff, very successful family. Even though many wanted to prevent Stanley Ho from expanding to Cotai, his influence and power was so integral to the opening of 3 different casinos there. Other gaming licenses were awarded, so he didn't have that monopoly anymore, but he still was so well established at that time that there was no getting rid of him. He's just everywhere. He is Macau, and he's responsible for what Macau is today. A little conclusion of what was talked about, because all of this beautiness or all of this is all because of Stanley Ho and what he did and what he put back into the city. Macau in the past to what it is today there's just no question. Sadly, he did pass away this year. He made a huge impact in the world, turned something that was once known as a shantytown into the world's most profitable gambling hub. How he managed to run a gambling monopoly for over 30 years is beyond me, but he's just amazing for what he's done. From the trade shows to the empire that he's built, he's one of the most successful businessmen that I've ever had the pleasure of researching, and I really hope that I was able to educate you guys on Stanley Ho. I know that he's a person that not many people are familiar with, so that was the whole purpose of this presentation today, was to really educate you guys on his background and what he did for Macau. Because before this presentation, I had no idea. I had no idea at all. And I just wanted to thank you guys, and I want to thank all my references that I had the pleasure of researching here, pleasure of the UNLV library and database. I used a lot of information from the Casino International and also the Casino Journal. International gaming and wagering was also very knowledgeable. You should definitely check those things out if you guys have a second for it. And that will conclude my presentation today. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night or whatever time it may be. Just peace and much love to everybody out there. Thank you so much.